Hello there. How are you?
Hi. Oh, you look so beautiful.
You've got the pink on too, I see.
I have, we talked about this on the podcast.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the fact that I have these earrings. So I was like, I have to wear them tonight,
I
today.
love it.
And I love your combination. What's going on there, Lily?
I've got pink and white. I think I've had five different outfits on
Oh,
today. Just
I love the pink and white combination.
moving it. I just approved a bunch of samples, and so I keep getting packages of new stuff in. So I'm just kind of wear testing, which is also part of the job.
Oh, that's so great.
hmm
Is that a new sample that you're wearing right now?
this headband is out right now, and I also have it in a slim. So if you want to be
Okay.
like matching mommy mini, you could. And
I
then these
love it.
earrings are from the pre-fall collection. I think they're coming out in like a week or so, the
Well,
Magnolia.
I think I have a photo of you in those. Are those
Y-
earrings that you're wearing in the promo? They're so gorgeous.
Yes.
What's the
Yeah.
name of those earrings, Lily?
Magnolia.
Magnolia.
I
And
think
how
it's a
much do they
magnolia
retail for?
bouquet. I basically have studied so many different flowers because I'm looking always for really fun new feminine shapes, and I
Love
find
it.
that flowers, I just keep going back to them.
Do they come, are they just in white or do they come in other colors?
I did a color because I love color and I kind of
I
always
know.
do colors. So I did a really fun, if you think of like Neapolitan ice cream, like a soft
Oh,
brown, like a
love.
blush and an ivory kind of mix.
Gorgeous, gorgeous,
hmm
gorgeous. Okay, we're going to turn off the comments soon so we can get into our chat. I'm just going to reintroduce myself. This is Story and Rain founder and editor in chief Tamara Rapp. I'm here with multi category accessories designer Lele Sadoughi. This is our podcast pre party. At the end of our chat, our podcast with Lele will be released. And not only will you be able to listen to the whole conversation, but you'll be able to shop her collection and some of her other favorites that are mentioned in the chat.
hmm
Okay, so let's first talk about our giveaway, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to show everyone what we're giving away. We talked about it today when we posted.
hmm
This is the gingerbread. I love that name, by the way.
Gingerbread. Well, I did a whole theme that was based on fairy tales, and which was
Gorgeous.
super fun when I thought of gingerbread because it just reminded me of that little gingerbread story.
Absolutely. So this is a headband that we're giving away to one lucky follower. You've
hmm
got to follow Lily. You've got to follow
hmm
Story and Rain. And one of the things that we would like you to do, which I'm going to announce, we're announcing that today in our stories, is that
hmm
we would love for you to send us a photo of yourself in an ideal outfit that you would pair with this. So before we do this, and the lucky winner will win this headband, which retails for $150. I'm not one to like talk about price, but this is a gorgeous headband. It's one that everyone wants, and it's $150. But I want to talk to you, Lily, about this. What
And
kind of look
it's the same fit as
is the
this one
same
I
one?
have here.
Is that a faux leather on you?
This one's velvet, but it's the
Okay.
same. This one's velvet, but it's the same thickness, the same feel. But the one that you have is a faux leather. And a lot of people would think when you're doing your matching outfits to do something matching, but because it's kind of a neutral color, you could wear like a hot pink or whatever you want with it, and it will still
So
kind of,
that's
it
what I was going
goes
to
with
ask you.
everything.
If you could lend some tips to people that want to win the headband and they want to put together their very best outfit, what kind of look and what kind of colors would you pair with this? If you want to get a little more specific.
Well, I'm definitely kind of a matchy person, as you can see right now with what's happening. But I always love to introduce color. So I would think if you're trying to win and do something different, I think you should treat the headband as a neutral. And even if you were to wear like a bright top and then maybe some bottoms that were neutral, like a khaki type belt or bottom, and then like a bright top. So I also love tonal colors mixed together. And you can do even like a lavender mixed with the gingerbread color would be really pretty.
Very
And even
pretty.
yellow and gingerbread, I think is a gorgeous combination.
Gorgeous.
Something kind of unexpected, like even any pastel and the gingerbread, I think would be fun.
And do you feel like it's, are you feeling more of a dress or a skirt look or a pant look or a denim? Is this a denim look? Is this jeans? Give
Right.
our point followers and fans in the right direction. Like,
Um,
What comes to mind?
you're probably already wearing a t-shirt like I am right now, and you've probably been wearing that every day. So if you're trying to like have fun, pull out something that you haven't worn in a while. Pull out something
Good
like
tip.
fun, chiffon, flowy dress. And if you're if we give you an excuse to dress up, then I've done my job.
I think that's right. I think that we're all looking for excuses to just dress up a little more. And
Yeah, I started buying some, I mean, I hadn't gone shopping or even online shopping in so long, and I started to just to get a few things. And of course, the things I pick are like long printed floral silk dresses. Like I don't know where I'm going, but that's just
I
what
don't
I
know, but
wanted
I
to
feel like
get.
that's comfortable and easy. It feels like the season. It feels like summer. So why
Yes.
not? Um,
Hmm.
Lily, so we touch on this on the podcast. And
Hmm.
so for those people that don't know, can you share the story behind the creation of this headband? The headband that everyone wants, the headband that sort of went wild. Can
Hmm.
you tell people exactly how you came to this inspiration?
I did. So I first thought I wasn't thinking about doing headbands for my collection, but personally, I wanted headbands to wear because if, and I'll put my hair down in a minute, but it's in a little small bun right now, but I have
Yeah,
very fine hair. And so I started my business and I started as a jewelry company doing fashion jewelry. And, I'd been doing that for over a decade, 15 years or so. And I didn't really strategize, okay, let's expand categories. What else am I going to do?
right.
So the first 2 years of my company, I have two kids. They're 17 months apart, and I like don't even have time to brush my teeth
Feed
or
them.
brush my hair or
Right.
anything. And I think my daughter was like 1 or 1.5 or 2 at the time. And you have those cute little headbands with the little bows. And so I would just put them on, and it gave me a bit more volume. And I just was like, I want something like that for me. And of course, her headband went up to here. And it was just like a quick solve just to like make me feel like I could be a little presentable.
A little
And I
more
remember I had a
together.
black one and it was so short that I would put like my hair over it. And I couldn't find anything for me. And I thought I don't remember myself like wearing headbands every day as a child. I'm sure I did. I grew up in the 80s and I wore all that stuff. But I thought that's what I want. And I wanted elevated because all I could find were really, really inexpensive headbands. And I thought, hey, I can do way better than that. Or they were very costuming, elaborate, and you don't want to just wear it every day.
And too much over the top.
Yeah,
Fancy. Yeah.
yes. And so at the same time, I was making a clutch bag with a bunch of pearls, kind of like this. And I was thinking about it and I was working on this bag. And I remember like opening the bag up and I was like, this would be amazing on a headband. And so I asked the factory, I'm like, can you do it? And they were like, we don't really do headbands, but okay, fine. So I added it to go with the handbag. I made the handbag. I ordered it once. I maybe sold a few hundred, but yet I ended up selling like several 100,000 headbands. So,
It's unbelievable. That's
you know,
that's really the story. It's really the story of how creativity often works, right? Like
yeah,
you
because I
can
was making
plan
a
as much as
clutch.
you
Hmm.
want, and then the chips sort of fall where they fall, and these happy accidents happen, right? And
Yeah, and I had been in my Instagram and social, I've been wearing other headbands that I found, none that were like I thought were that nice. Just because I felt like it made my hair look better. And so I think by the time that I started to make my own, it was like a very organic growth because it was something that was part of my look. And I just thought, and this is the only thing where I ever bought without a guarantee from any wholesalers. Usually we have market, I see what I've
right,
sold, and then I add more for my e-commerce.
right.
Well, I was just like, I need to get these in as quickly as possible. I bought the minimum, whatever that was, for 6 colorways, and I just started selling them. You know,
You felt the urgency, right?
I felt the urgency. I started selling them, I guess, in May of 2018, so over 2 years ago. And then I remember the spring shows in October in Paris, like 8 months later, and Prada goes down the runway with these jeweled headbands.
Yes.
Different idea, but still a jeweled headband.
Of the
And
same order, a chunkier headband,
yeah,
one that sort of like sits higher on the head than a simple headband. I think that, prior to this, we've been seeing like headbands that were like almost, I think a popular way of sort of wearing a headband was like a ribbon or something slim. Like slim
yes.
headbands were very much in style for a very long time. And
Hmm.
so that's really a testament to you.
And then when they started to pop up a little bit, how the cycle goes, people are like, wow, that's a thing. Is it a thing? And I was very lucky that like I had them in market. I'd been showing
Yes, we
them.
talk about this on the podcast. So if you
They
listen
were there.
to our podcast,
Hmm.
Lily goes into great detail about how, it's sort of a serendipitous moment. It's
Hmm.
where everything kind of comes together for that one moment. We all have these in our lives, whether personal or professional, but suddenly there was this huge demand for this type of look, and you were already producing them. So right? Or you were in the
Yeah,
middle
I
of.
was already producing them and I had the market. I mean, I was already selling to like Neiman Saks, Shop Up,
Right.
Roomies, like, everywhere. And it was just a category that didn't really exist in a big way. The Saks buyer for jewelry came in and she's like, we don't have a headband buyer. Like, we don't really buy headbands. So, like, I'll try them. And Neiman's hadn't bought headbands in so long. I had to talk to the visual director because they didn't even know where to put them. It had been so long. So there was a bit of a learning curve, because sometimes just you shouldn't just design things that like already exist in categories. You should, you have to
That,
work with people to actually show the things that you're making. And now I feel like I need to wear one every day, whereas it was something that wasn't on people's minds before.
that's right. Hair accessories have had their moment over the years in fashion, but hair accessories certainly had not had a moment in a very long time until
Hmm.
2018. So it's really exciting, actually. Let's get into some fan and follower questions.
Yeah.
We have a question from Lisa who says, Lily, do you have any rules for how to wear accessories? Do you have any?
Um,
I'm assuming she's thinking about sort of the take something off or add or subtract. I mean, I know you'll do big earring and a sunglass. Do you have any rules for how to wear accessories, or is your brand credo is sort of maximal, right? So
Totally maximal, but there is such thing as too much. And I love a coordinated set. I think it's just fun. I would say sometimes if you have big earrings, like, do you really need a big necklace? Like, pick a statement and go with it. So usually what I do is if I have a necklace, I'll wear like little button or stud earrings. And sometimes I like to do like a matching collar necklace and a button earring. And sometimes when I have a really big necklace, and if you have a headband, it's kind of like literally frames your face from top to bottom. So maybe,
right,
I would just do like a look like this if I have this, and then I'll put like a big bow in the back. So
great,
I think my biggest rule is changing it up. So let's just
changing it up.
say
That's a really good one.
you own 10 accessories. If you think of how many different ways you could wear them, you have this headband and you have 5 earrings. And then if you wear, 3 other headbands and mix it with every different earring, you could have like 50 looks
I think that's very
with 10
true. I
accessories.
haven't really thought about that in kind of a while, but I think when people there are ways to wear accessories as daily staples, and then there are certain accessories that sort of lend themselves to like really change it up. And I think when it comes to your accessories, it's about changing it up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And the odds of somebody having the exact combination of accessories as you is so slim compared to the odds of somebody having the same dress as you.
right. Well, that's what
So,
we love about accessories,
yeah.
right?
And in this world where, there's 20 hot dress designers, and sometimes you could walk into a room and have like the same Ula Johnson or Tory Burch or whatever it is that you have, um, no one is probably going to wear that dress, but then have big earrings and a big hand in the same handbag and the same accessories. So I
I
think there's
know.
so much room for individuality.
Do it the way that you do it.
Hmm.
Claire says, you're such an inspiration. Any advice for a newly graduated design major looking to find a job in higher fashion accessories? Can you sort of harken back to that time?
Yeah. I mean, I just went full force when I went to University of Texas and then I moved to LA, and this was in 99. And I remember going to boutiques, looking at labels, looking at brands that I liked. I mean, now you can do this all online, but I actually went to the stores, looked it up, and just reached out to people. And there's something to be said about working for a small company when you're not sure exactly what you want to do, because
Good tip.
there
Great
were
tip.
like three people in the company. And so I was like PR person, I was helping with production, I got to help do line sheets, I was helping do sales. And I really got that experience, even though I knew I wanted to end up doing something creative. I learned so much about all the different departments. And then you should also get experience at a big corporate company as well, where
Hmm.
you are specialized in, like when I was at J. Crew and specialized in design, you're hyper focused in one element after you've had the experience of doing all of that. And I think that you can learn under somebody's dime for a while. Like you can get all this experience and you take it with you. And when you do your own thing, if you want to do your own thing, you're so prepared.
It's a perfect, well-rounded way to kind of go about your career. Sylvia, what are your favorite materials to work with? Do you have any
Oh,
fabrics or metals or crystal, or what do you like working with the best?
I really love acetate, which is what these
Oh,
earrings are right now and the earrings you're wearing. And these are a
oh,
mother
it's
of
so
pearl.
it's yes. I
Can you
didn't
see the
know
color in
usually.
here?
Wow.
And I love it because of the color saturation and the it's so light. It's just like, I mean, these look like they'd be heavy. They're not heavy at all. And they're
You know what?
huge
From a
earrings.
far glance, the way that you've sculpted them,
Hmm.
they look like fabric from far away
Yeah.
because of all the nuance in their shape.
And
But
they're
that's
so
your
durable. They're so durable. I'm not making dainty fine jewelry here. I'm making really fun stuff. So for jewelry, I love to use acetate. I also love to use reconstituted stones because they are made from semi-precious, but they have a lot of value to them. They're really affordable and you can make really brightly colored things. And as far as headbands, I've been having so much fun with different fabrications that, like the gingerbread headband, like doing like a faux leather and really looking nice with being able to do some kind of a vegan option has been really fun too.
yeah, absolutely. Lawrence is asking, how does each collection of yours first take shape? We definitely touch on this on the
Yeah.
podcast, but can you take everyone through how a collection sort of gets starts for you?
Yes. As I was saying too, I like to use acetate a lot because the colors are just so amazing and the swirls and just everything. I mean, I have even just some glasses here and you can see up close like how you
So
have all
pretty.
the swirls here. But I usually start with color and I start with an idea of what I want to do. I think I might have talked to you about the season of pre-fall, which was about 1960s London. I felt like I had just come off of another group where it was a lot of spring and pastel colors. And then it got really, I feel like I wanted to get more serious with my palette, like reds and really deep, rich colors and tweeds, and just get more masculine a little bit, but of course, make them in flowers and make it really pretty. So it's like I'm coming off of an idea to go into something totally different. And I'm like thinking about all these colors and materials. And then I just thought about a time period and I thought about these red buses in London and the towers and the tweed and the 60s and the tall boots and all those things. And so then I just kind of go crazy with images and just scouring the
I
internet and
love it.
reading
I
books.
can see it all. Kay is asking I love this question actually. What was the most difficult job you've ever had and why?
That is a good question. My most difficult job. I've been fortunate that I've been like in design and I've gotten to be creative in all my jobs. Some have been more difficult. I mean, when I first moved to New York, I worked at Rebecca Taylor and I started to, it was like my first um,
Entry?
entry. Well, I worked in LA for a small designer for a few years,
Yeah,
but this was, a big deal going to New York, got a job,
absolutely. Yeah.
and I was working with the pattern makers, and it was really, I mean, I went in there and I had to learn so much. I studied advertising, so I learned everything as I went, and that was a huge learning curve too. And then I found my stride there where I started doing patterns, pattern making, and managing the team there. And then I moved, it was a bit serendipitous because the trim girl left and I had at the same time just done a big creative print. Like I hand painted a print for Rebecca. And she's like, okay, maybe she saw some creativity and she's like, all right, let's do trims. So, you got to work hard. You got to do what is given to you as a design assistant. Your first job, they're like, you're doing patterns. And maybe I wasn't that,
Yeah, you weren't thinking along those lines, but you have to be flexible.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
they saw what I was good at and they were like, you should do trims. And then that led me into like the little stuff and jewelry. So,
See,
um,
that's how it all works.
so
It's
even
all
if you don't know exactly what you just get good at what you're doing and then you'll move on to what you're really good at.
That's great advice. Rhea, do you have any mentors? What, and if so, what do you take from them?
Absolutely. And if you are lucky enough to have mentors, then just absorb everything you can get. I've worked at some awesome places where at J. Crew, I worked directly under Jenna Lyons for 5 years, and then Mickey Drexler was there, and he would personally interview everyone who worked there. And so I took a lot from him too, even just interviewing everybody, and no matter what the position is, I realized that it's not just about me talking, but it's about him listening and learning.
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah.
those are some things that I've learned from him, from Jenna Lyons. I think she was a really great manager and collaborator and made everybody feel special in design, that they have valid and good ideas. And I think that's important to give people confidence. So I've learned that going forward with my team as well, that um, you should give space for everybody to do their accomplishments. And that's just some mentors that I can instantly at least think of
Yeah,
that I've
of
worked with.
course.
Yeah.
Esther has a question, switching gears a little bit. What do you do to achieve work-life balance?
Well, that's all messed up now. So
For
I
everybody,
had a
right?
really good situation because my kids now are 5 and 7, and I had a really good situation, and it was all about convenience. And I want to take my kids to school. I want to pick them up from school, and I want to be there when I can, but I also want to work.
Right.
So we're in a house across the street from the school and a block away from my office in Manhattan.
Perfect.
So I was able to lose no time commuting and do all of that. That's all changed. So now I'm like on a conference call, setting up Zoom for my children.
Yeah,
And so do I have the right balance today? I don't, but I'm fortunate that I actually am in Dallas now with my parents. So,
that's
spending
good.
more time with the family.
Yeah. Um, but are there things that you do in your day-to-day life, like your normal, like if things were back to normal, that you do to sort of like draw the line between work and play, or work and, work in your home life?
I'm
Are
uh
you somebody that looks at emails all night long? Or are
yeah,
you,
I'm a major multitasker. I'm highly efficient in like at getting things done. I am not compulsive in any way because if I was organized in this, I would never be able to do as many projects as I do in one time period.
I get that.
So you just have to realize that they're not all going to be 100%. Like if you want to be a mom and raise your kids and you want to have your own company, you got to sacrifice some things here and there, and it's a constant decision. It's a constant battle, but my
Yeah.
only advice is you got to be okay with it. Some days you can't do it and some days you
This
can.
is a great question, Lele, coming up. From Lacey. Do you get instincts about what will be your best-selling pieces before they sell? And have you ever been surprised by items that took off, and why?
Yes and yes. Yes, I get instincts. I actually, during this whole pandemic, I've been doing a lot of jogging and I like, it's like my time alone. Sometimes I listen to podcasts, sometimes I listen to music. Um, but I will get into a groove. I will think of things. I'll get inspired by things. And what was the second half of the question?
It was sort of, do you get instincts about what will be your
Oh,
best-selling pieces before they sell? And then part two was the opposite. Have you ever been, how often
yeah.
have you been surprised by something that
So
took off?
I have instincts. The earrings that you're wearing now are crystal lily earrings, are my most popular earrings. I actually had those. I was too early with them. I had them a season or two before and people just kind of overlooked them. And then all of a sudden they became a thing and I still make them in different colors every season.
Yeah,
So that was something where like I had an instinct and that was I wanted to do big and like very geometric and like really fun. And I think it was a little early. And then and then it just kind of came into the right time. So, sometimes you're a bit off on that. The I had an instinct about doing sunglass chains because I started doing sunglasses, and then that became a whole big thing. So I was like right on
Lele,
that.
Lele, mask chains.
Well, my sunglass chains work as mask chains.
Okay, I'm gonna buy one. Like I was just
Yeah,
like,
so I need to do
it's
some.
like I
I
wrote
need
it
to
down
market
today.
it that way.
I was troubleshooting all the things about
Yeah.
masks that we could optimize, right? And I thought, if this was on a chain, this would be amazing.
So
So good
my
to know.
my chains, see, my glasses have these little holes right here. So the chains come with either a lobster where, you can a hook where you can like hook it here and or you can take the hook off and there's like a little lobster. So you could totally hook that on the elastics for your masks. So it's an
Guys, it's
accessory for an accessory.
absolutely, and such a good one. I think the big thing about these masks that we're all wearing right now is that they come on, they come off, and it's just sort of how best to wear them and keep them on.
Hmm.
Risa, who is a friend of mine, Tamara said you're doing scarves next. What will they look like?
I am doing some scarves and I kind of updated them a little bit where I'm doing like a cute little bandana scarf and I put
Ooh,
little loops on them so you can kind of go like this. So if you have to run to the grocery
oh,
store and just like
I love that. So
cover
even
yourself.
another version of a mask.
Yeah. So
Oh, I
that's
love
my
that. When will those be out? When will those be ready?
I just showed them for holiday market, but I think I'm gonna try and order some now to
Push
get
them out?
out for like the end of summer.
Oh, I think it's super popular. I'm seeing so many people using that type of method of covering their face.
Yeah, and the
Amazing.
CDC said just use a bandana. And again, I was like, well, I can do better than that. Put some little
Right.
embellishments on it and a cute little
Yeah,
comfy little thing around your ears.
totally. Um, so the this bandana look will have a hole for a chain. Oh my
Well, no,
gosh.
this is more like you
Oh.
can wear a scarf around your neck, but it also has loops on it. So you can just wear the scarf all day. And when you run inside
Oh, and then
somewhere, you
make
just
it
go like that.
into
Hmm.
perfect. Vicky, Dina's first. Whose style do you admire? I feel like we covered a little of this maybe on the podcast, but do you have somebody whose style you're admiring lately? I mean, there's not much going on in terms of pop culture, but
I mean, I love vintage stuff so
yeah,
much. I love like I love like Nan Kepner because she was just like awesome and she was not afraid to wear something twice, three times and was famous for going to somewhere like the plaza and you couldn't wear pants and she just like wore her suit blazer top and took her pants off and I mean just someone that has like the confidence and re wears things in different ways.
perfect. Um, Another question from Vicky, which is, who's had the most influence on how you've navigated your career?
Uh
Anybody that you've sort of taken a cue from over the years,
Yeah,
or
probably my husband.
oh, fab.
He's the more analytical side and with overall strategy where I can be so insular sometimes. I'm so involved, I'm so deep in it, and it's good to have somebody that has like an outside perspective,
Yeah.
that's not at all fashion related
Yeah,
and
right.
get a
Very
different
important.
perspective.
Very important.
So he's
That's a
been
good
an
one.
amazing sounding board.
That's a good one. Ava, would you, and I have to say, I've heard this more than once. Would you ever design clothing? I would love a top by you.
Oh,
I mean,
so
I think she's thinking about all your very, beautiful embellishments. Has that
mhm.
ever come across your path? Are you giving that? I mean, you have so many categories already, but
I
has that
need to
ever?
conquer accessories first. I mean, that
Yes.
is
Well,
like
I think you have,
my
but yeah.
passion. No, I still have more to do. I mean, I'm
Oh,
doing a
boy.
whole big thing more for handbags. One day I want to do shoes.
Oh,
There's
that's
so
right. There's
many,
shoes, which is like one of my favorite categories of accessories.
right? So there's,
Yeah.
I don't have plans yet to do the shoes, but there's so many things that I want to get to because working for these big companies like J. Crew and Tory Burch,
Yes.
um, often accessories were like this lost stepchild and weren't as thought of.
I
Different for
hate that, and
handbags
I
and
think
shoes.
they're so important.
Handbags and shoes, those are thought of because those do make a lot of money for
But the other
companies.
stuff, the belts, the scarves, the
The jewelry, and it was not top of mind in a lot of places. And I thought, you know what? I want to focus on this and to have a niche where you are known for just, a jewelry maker and you just extend it to headbands, you extend it to other things. I think it could be a natural thing where if I were to extend to apparel, but right now I'm thinking about, I want this, you know what? I want like a rain bonnet, I want like an umbrella, I want like a bag, I want all of these things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my mentality at the
Yeah.
moment.
Keeping that makes a lot of sense. Is like sort of keeping, yeah, finishing off what you're doing. And then, I mean, you're really we say this in the intro to the podcast, you're a multi-category accessories designer, and there's not that many of you, truthfully.
There really aren't. And I,
No.
try to see who I would be compared to, I mean, aesthetic aside, but just somebody who really focuses on accessories.
I can't think of anyone.
And
I've been
the,
an accessories editor off and on for years. I can't think
I
of
mean, the
anyone.
closest I would think of would be like Kate Spade, but she has clothing.
That's right. That's
She's
right.
clothing. I mean, she's kind of known as accessories, but um, yeah, like I just think that there's so much room for what is you get your dress, whatever, or you're repurposing your dress, especially with this sustainability, with like, do we need all these things? Like,
Right.
you have your black outfit, you have your gold lame dress, you have it, but like, wouldn't this look fabulous with it?
Absolutely. Gloria, what do you typically wear to big events and parties? I feel like
Um,
every look is a festive look with you, Lily.
oh yeah, I always dress up. I
Yeah,
mean,
but like for a party or an event, like what's your spin on that?
I think, and there's some people who dread getting dressed up for an event, or they're, like apprehensive and like, what should I wear? And sometimes they don't go to an event because they like
Intimidated by
can't
it.
figure it out.
Intimidated, yeah.
I am the opposite. It is fun for me.
Like it's
It
your
is,
wheelhouse. It's
yeah.
your
I'm
wheelhouse.
like, this is so fun that I have an
Yeah.
opportunity to look in my closet, and guess what? I'm going to pick it out 20 minutes before I have to be somewhere, and it's like a challenge to me. So I will go in my closet. I don't plan anything the night before. I will just go in and I'll be like, I've never, this teal leather skirt that I've had for 10 years, like I haven't worn it in forever, but you know what? Kind of feel like wearing it with just like a white t-shirt today.
Right,
Or,
and I feel like that is such a great tip too. It's sort of take it from an expert. You know, a lot of people get very caught up on like the rules of how to dress, especially when it comes to sort of more formal events and things. And I think from people that have true style, people like you, it's about walking into a closet and mixing and matching. And I think that's very indicative of the brand that you have, right? It's sort of a
yeah, and
mixed
it's like
bag of
high-low.
mixed media, high low. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you can wear a t-shirt, and some people are like, I'm not going to wear a t-shirt with big fancy earrings. Like, why not?
why
Or
not?
maybe you
How
want to wear just like jean cut-off shorts and like heels and a sweatshirt. Why not?
why not? Suzanne, when did you know for sure that you wanted to start your own company?
Um, I didn't think about it that much. I just knew that I had to do something creative.
Yes.
When I was engaged, getting married, thinking of having kids is when I just kind of made the transition. And because I was like, I just want to be able to pick my kids up from school. And, I work
You
more
wanted
now
more
than I
freedom.
ever worked,
Yeah,
by the way. I work way more now. And
of
that's something that
course.
everybody should know about when you have your own business. But I do it on my time. And yeah, maybe I'm emailing from 11 to 12 every night, but I put my kids to bed.
There are other things.
Hmm.
Um, Heather, in your opinion, this is a good one. Do you need to study design in order to design accessories? What is your thought on
No,
that?
I didn't.
No.
I didn't
Yeah.
traditionally study design. I've always done art, painting, collage photography. I've always taken courses in that, but never so much fashion design. I studied advertising. I did spend some time in London at St. Martin's doing some courses, but it wasn't jewelry design. It was more like fashion design, and I ended up doing accessories.
Yeah.
So I do not think so. I think that a really good education can be a really good job where you have opportunity to, that's why I was saying your first job, maybe it's not in a really big company where
Yes.
you're focused only on planning or buying or production, but
Right.
a smaller company where you really get to do like real stuff.
Nitty gritty, like get your hands dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah. Rachel, you must be so busy. How do you tune into your creative side?
I know I am so busy and more busy now. busier now than ever. Um,
which is a good thing.
well, I was just saying earlier, like I'll go on a jog and like have time to like think about things, or I'll be up late night, like on the internet, like looking at pictures and looking at things and
Are you a night owl like that in some ways, even though you have a family and you've got like do your juices get flowing at night?
yeah, yeah.
Me
But
too.
I would say yes, my whole life I'm a night owl, but since I've had kids, like I'm not so
You
much
can't be.
anymore.
Yeah, it's like you try. It's an impossibility.
Yeah, I try.
Sharon, where will you go when you're able to vacation again? That's fun.
I know, I'm dreaming. But I mean, I've been lucky where we left New York. We went to Hilton Head because it was like
Oh,
we could drive there in a day. It was like 10 hours. And
yeah.
then we decided to drive again to Dallas. So I feel like I've kind of been
Had a
away from
moment.
my house for so long. And I love Mexico. I got married in Mexico.
Oh, you did? Where
I
did you
love
get
it
married,
there.
Lily? Where
At
in
the
Mexico?
Rosewood Mayacoba in the Riviera Maya.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So
So
um,
Mexico's on the radar.
I would love to go back there.
Isabel, how long did it take? A question about masks. How long did it take to put your mask collection together, and which one do you wear if you wear one?
Well, I've worn two different ones today already. I went to UPS today, and I took a break to take my kids to play putt-putt and wore another mask. So it was really quick thinking. It was really quick action because there was a time when the CDC said, like, don't wear masks, give them to
There
the
was.
frontline workers. And so I was like, yeah, well, I don't need to do that. Like, they're telling us not to wear them. And then the second that they told us to, and they said, you can wear a cloth bandana, I was like, well, I can do better than that. I
We
mean, and so I had to find a new place to produce them. I
You
knew what
did. That's interesting.
yeah, I knew what
Fun.
I wanted to do because I wanted them to be like other things that I make. So I made like a pearl one and
I know
a
we
floral
love that.
one.
There's
And
actually a question about your embellished mask. We'll get to that,
yeah.
but
So I got it done the quickest I think I've ever done anything, and the largest orders and craziness, and they're sold out, and they come in and they're sold out. Like if you go on my site right now, they're all on pre-order. But then you have to get the pre-order because by the time they come in, they'll sell out again.
wow, of
So
course, because you have such loyal fans. I think the tagline. I always create sort of like one sentence tagline to all the podcasts we produce, and for
mhm.
yours it was cultivating a cult following, and that's for sure. So I'm not surprised that your masks are sell out that way.
And
So
we just started really sending them the past 2 weeks, and I'm so happy that everybody says they're like so comfortable and not
oh
only
good,
cute, but they're like breathable,
feel good.
comfortable. Yeah, and I did, more of like a contour fit, so it's kind of
Yes,
not a big thing on your face, and it's just
yes.
more like this, and then the adjustable elastics and everything. So
It's
that
it's
was, I'm really
it's so
happy I spent
interesting,
the
isn't it?
time.
It's this one thing that we never thought we would get to
Yeah,
know so well, but now that we've all had to wear them, now we think about the fit and we think about the
I know.
breathability, and it's something that we would never thought we would have to get to know so well, but we've all had to. So, um,
I actually have one here. This is
oh,
like
good.
a tie-dye one. I'm literally sitting at a desk right now, so I have a bunch of stuff here. But I
Oh,
did
cool.
here with like the this is
Toggle.
adjustable, so
Yeah,
you can really fit it nicely, and it goes, like
yeah.
this.
It's like the perfect shape. How perfect that is. It
So you
looks
can still
so.
wear your earrings.
Look at you. You look so chic with your whole Lele setup. Um, Jilly, what I love this question as we're starting to two more questions.
Mhm.
One from Jilly. What have you and your family been doing for fun during the pandemic?
Swimming, swimming, and swimming, and swimming. And my kids are at an age now where they're like so excited to jump in a pool. And as I mentioned, I'm in Texas. It's real hot here,
How hot is
so
it? Is it in the hundreds?
it's like 90s, in the 90s. It hasn't reached 100 yet, but it will in the next 30 days or so. But that's where
Absolutely.
we might go see my husband's on now, like we have to go see his parents, and they're in California, so we might.
Oh, so you're gonna go right across the country, do
I
another? Yeah,
I guess so.
yeah, that'll be fun.
Hmm.
Actually, to go back to another mask question, I missed one. Um, Fiona, I love your embellished masks. How would I keep them clean? Do you have any thoughts on how to
Yeah.
keep the embellished masks clean? I think
Well, there,
you have a pearl and then you have a applique sort of one, right?
yeah, I have like some gold hearts and some stars,
So
and
cute.
I
So cute,
just
guys.
pre-ordered another one that has like neon hearts and then one that has crystals.
Neon hearts.
Because why not?
You're killing me. I love that.
It's like a blush tie-dye with orange neon hearts. It's really cute. And
No,
it's like
I
a
need it.
t-shirt
Okay,
jersey
everybody
material.
troll the site like all summer long because grab them while they're hot. That
Leopard,
sounds, yeah,
it's like the same formula as my headbands. I'm like, today I want leopard, tomorrow I want this, like that. It's like a
absolutely,
little
yeah.
fun mixture.
Um,
But so how to keep them clean? So
yeah, the
they are
ones that
all,
have appliques and embellishments on them.
they're heat stamped. So if you think of like think about children's clothing when they have like all the glitter and the like pearls and like things on
Stuff,
them and you throw them in the
right?
wash, they're heat stamped. So they're like iron on essentially.
Great to
And you
know.
can wash them. So you can throw them in the wash. We did testing, you test things for like 30 plus washes and obviously to preserve longevity like you do your delicates, you could put them in a lingerie bag. I think that's a good suggestion, which we
Oh, that's
sell.
such a good idea. A lingerie bag.
Like that you stick them in that bag. And we say you can also for ours you can totally put them in the washing machine. We recommend line drying, which is easy because you just like hang it on a like a little not like a little hook or something.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
but you could just as easily hand wash them too. I mean, it's easy because they're like little pieces. But treat
Ah,
them as you do your delicates.
perfect. Final question from Jody. What will the brand focus on this summer? Like, what is happening right now at the brand for the summer?
So what's happening in my mind, I'm thinking about next spring of 2021.
Can you
So
give us a sneak peek
yeah,
into a visual?
I feel like we've all been at home and we've been wearing t-shirts and maybe we dress up from here and up because we're on a Zoom like we are right now. And
Yes.
I think that people just want something just super fun. I don't think it's about extravagance, but I think it's about individuality. And it's about like, if you think about like the arts and crafts movement that came up that was like in defiance of the Industrial Revolution, and you think about what is it that you want? Do you want something like homemade? Do you want something different? People are at home now. They're tie-dyeing, they're at home, they're making things, they're knitting, they're doing all of this. And I think that that is being appreciated, that like kind of lost art.
Homespun.
Yeah. So I feel like maybe, listen, I don't have time to do any of that, although I would love to just sit home and
But we like the look of it.
knit and tie-dye.
It evokes a feeling,
It
right?
evokes a bit of nostalgia, and I think
Yeah.
people just want something to make them happy. And they might realize that, you know what, I've been wearing the same 10 outfits for the past 3 months. And you might just want a little something to just like pep it up. And maybe
Yeah.
that's a big pair of earrings or a headband. So with my collection that I did for holiday, I pared it down to special pieces. And I was like, why not do a sequin leopard? Like that's coming soon.
So pretty.
Or
Oh, I
like a
love
crazy
it.
crystal tartan, which would look good in your
Crystal
background.
tartan.
Yeah, like
Ooh,
why not? So
fun.
really emotional fun pieces is kind of what I'm working on.
Yeah, that sounds right on target. Okay, so to wrap up, guys, uh, as we exit the chat, our podcast with Lele Sadoughi will be live. Not only will you be able to listen to the full conversation, but you'll also, if you go into our show notes, you'll be able to shop some key pieces from her collection that she mentions on the podcast, including some other things that she talks about, some of her favorites. And then also, before we jump, to recap, we're giving away this headband. It's the gingerbread faux leather headband. And you are going to DM Story and Rain with the message, Lele entered to win. But what you're also going to do is you're going to email us at editorial@storyandrain.com, and you're going to send us a picture of your outfit, the outfit that you envision with this headband. So,
And have fun with the outfit. Have fun, show color, wear something, mix it with other fun, crazy accessories.
Lele, great to see you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.